I'm John.
I'm Holly.
And we're John and Holly. We wanted to make this quick introduction to tell you guys a bit more about our journey, where it started, and why we're here in Southeast Asia.
And why we're here in general on YouTube making videos. When we first met around 8 years ago, we were going on little trips, like city breaks in Europe for around 2-3 nights. And it was nothing that we really filmed or took too seriously. Like, we're both so passionate about traveling. We didn't really film much of those trips, unfortunately.
Yeah, and it didn't really tick the box, It wasn't really fulfilling us in the sense of wanting to explore more. It was, leaving work early, taking the flight out, and then coming back, and then going back to work the same night, sometimes for me, because I was doing, night shift at the time. And then Holly would obviously go back to work the next day, and we'd want to do it again a week later. They were very short-lived experiences and didn't really fulfill us in the way that we were expecting, even though we were actually fulfilling our passion, somewhat in the form of traveling.
So I think it became a real craving for us. Once we'd had a taste of it, we were like, okay, we need to be doing this longer than 2-3 days. We decided after lots of back and forth that we wanted to take this seriously, actually travel for longer periods than just a few days.
So eventually it all started around the COVID time when we decided to move to Mexico. We hadn't told anyone, and looking back, it was probably not the best of ideas to not tell anyone. But after being told so many times, we can't do this, you can't go travel for a long time, it doesn't work. How are you going to make yourself, how are you going to support yourself, how are you going to do all what you need to do, you don't know anything about this country. We decided to do it anyway, and I think now looking back on that, probably one of the best experiences of our life.
Yeah, it was the best decision we ever made.
And it's molded us into who we are today. Fast forward to now, about 5 years later, we decided to take the plunge into YouTube and go full time. And we really want to showcase all of our experiences across the world, across cultures, speaking to locals, and just being immersed in culture properly and fully.
On a budget.
On a budget.
Because we are just regular, normal couple. We had some money saved. We worked intermittently in between our traveling to be able to save as much as we could, to be able to fund our travels now, basically.
Yeah.
And obviously the money's not going to last forever. So that's why we're still working remotely as we travel, to be able to keep us going and keep us on the road. We want to be able to show you that it is possible if you're someone who's working the kind of typical 9 to 5 in any country in the world, and this is something that you want to do or you have a real passion for. We want to show you that it is possible, and we're still learning everything as well. So it'll be nice to be able to share that with you, and hopefully you can pick up some tips from us and the things that we go through.
There's going to be a lot of experiences that you're going to be learning along the way with us, and you're going to be seeing it through our opinions, through our minds.
Yeah, we're not experts, we're still learning.
We have explored many different cultures and countries already, but we always still find something new, and we always still come across things that we didn't know. We're always learning, and that's the thing with traveling as well. We love it for that reason. It is difficult, but at the same time it's so fun, and it's something we're so passionate about. If you're not the typical person that wants to, settle down, have a mortgage, you can do all this, it's no different. You're just choosing a different opportunity over another opportunity.
Yeah, it's still just as difficult and just as hard, but where it's like the unknown is something that we are not really taught, I guess, as opposed to the kind of typical way that you should do things. It has its own struggles.
Yeah, well, to be honest, what Holly's saying is completely true, but I would even say one step further than that is actually it's probably harder, because I think I've worked more than I ever did before in my previous job. I was comfortable in London for 2-3 days at a time. We were exploring cities, we were traveling, but since we've started hitting the road, it's everything: budget, time, working, where you're going to work, is the internet going to be good, is it going to be a safe place,
I haven't had enough sleep.
have you had enough sleep? Then you've got to be up again the next day working out your plans. So if anything, we work longer than we ever have in our life put together, 14-15 hours a day in total probably.
But we wouldn't have it any other way.
We wouldn't have any other way. Totally agree. And that's the thing about traveling. You're building something that we can take you along with us for, and that makes us happy, that makes us passionate, and we really can't wait to share so much more of what we have coming up, can't we?
Yeah. It's going to be fun. For a little bit of background on the kind of work that we did before we took this plunge to travel, I was working in London as a personal trainer. I'm a personal trainer working online. Sean was working as an electrician on the London Underground. And it wasn't that we didn't love our jobs. We were being paid well. We were happy, you know, but the whole grind of kind of like waiting for your days off or waiting for the weekend, saving money to put towards a mortgage, and countless times we actually did go ahead to try and buy our own place, get a mortgage, and it just didn't happen. It just wasn't happening for us. And you know, we do believe that if things don't go a certain way, then that's not the way you're meant to go.
Yeah.
And we felt like going on our own journey and what we felt was right for both of us was the right thing to do. And it's not the norm, you know, so...
I think some people would just say, oh yeah, it was a struggle, but most people have had issues one way or another. But that
everyone's got to work, you know, and...
Exactly, yeah, but it was a struggle we were seeing the signs from, and it was like, in a way, like, okay, this is not working. The other option we really, really, really want to do, you know, it's just there. And we're in a good position if we do it now, rather than go in and get the mortgage, go in and, you know, force it, and then take the wrong direction, then it's really quite difficult to kind of move forward.
Yeah.
It's, you know, we're not saying it's not possible to travel when you have a mortgage, when you have a house, when you have assets, but obviously you're tied down a bit more than when you don't. So that was kind of our way of thinking, you know, because then you have to sustain all your materialistic things.
After some time living in Mexico, we spent some time just traveling around South America for a little while. Went back to the UK, and we were really trying to figure out what we wanted to do and how we were going to go about the next step of our lives. So then we thought, do you know what? Let's try and work in another country, like the Middle East. So we moved to Kuwait, worked there for some time, saved some money before deciding, right, now is the time. Take the plunge and do our full-on traveling and YouTube.
So that was really an experience in itself. It was such a great opportunity to see how things work in the Middle East, try a new way of thinking, a new way of living. We absolutely loved it. You know, we love Kuwait as a country, the people and everything that we got to explore and experience there. But it really was still lingering in us, you know. We still wanted to hit the road so bad. And already after doing that and then settling down in one place, it was almost like, right, you know, we're getting the itch.
Yeah, we kept trying the settling thing because, you know, you always have that pressure on you of, well, why haven't you got your house yet? Why haven't you had kids yet? And after we got married as well, we were just like, we just need to do what we want to do, what feels right for us. Okay, so now we are here in Southeast Asia, and this is what you can expect from us.
Lots of local food with good budgets associated with that. What the locals eat as well. We have such a big passion to have exactly what they have, you know, the real way. What you can't get in your home countries in the same way, you know, the real taste. Ways you can stay in Southeast Asia on affordable budgets, because we're not necessarily backpackers, we're not people that stay in hostels. We have remote jobs, so we can't, you know, share a dorm with 10 other people, but we don't have lots of money and we want to do it affordably as well. You know, we do like our own space, and there is a way to do that on a budget. You just have to know how. So we'll be sharing a lot more of that. We share a lot of our experiences, things that we've already learned from the past that we'll be sharing with you. And of course the journey along the way to explore so much more. And that's where we're really going to be immersing ourselves into this culture, into this part of the world together and with you guys.
Yeah, learning as we go. So you'll be learning with us.
And of course, trying to keep ourselves afloat, working, building our online personal training businesses, you know, and making it such that we can eventually settle down in Southeast Asia or another place we decide to visit. You know?
Yeah, we haven't got that figured out yet, but you guys are going to get to see exactly how this pans out. So if this sounds like something that you're interested in, please do subscribe and follow along for the journey.
We'll have lots of videos coming out on a weekly basis.
Thanks for watching.
And we can't wait to share the next video with you soon.